Well, g'day and welcome to a truly terrible December morning in Wellington. It's about 12 degrees out, absolutely pouring with rain, but there's a good reason I'm riding in this crappy weather today. Well, actually it's because I'm going to work, but I'm here to talk about things you want to avoid, or things you want to do, or things you want to wear when riding in the rain. Now there are many things that you want to avoid. The first one's paint. Paint is incredibly slippery in the rain, and if you're coming under braking or you're trying to go around a corner and you hit a patch of paint, then you are going to be in a lot of trouble. The other thing you want to avoid is manhole covers. These things right here, the metal ones that are just all made out of metal, are going to be very similar to paint. Very wet, very slippery. There'll be a lot of water usually sitting in them, which makes them even worse. And the next thing you want to avoid is standing water, particularly when going around corners. But I definitely learnt this one the hard way. About 2 or 3 months ago, I had a patch of standing water going around a corner, and I wasn't even going that fast. Like, I was probably going maybe 30, 35, which is much slower than I would have gone around that corner when it was dry. But my scooter just disappeared almost instantly, man. I had no hope of saving it. It was completely gone. The other thing, and you can start to see it here a little bit, is that the cars will naturally create tracks in the rain and sort of push the water out of the way, and that's really useful because it means that you can ride in them and get on a slightly drier patch of road. Oh, check this out. Look at this mad beast. Oh yeah, I can totally do that. Let's talk about gear. You can pretty much just wear what I said to wear in my video on how to ride a scooter pretty much. I'm just wearing a jacket, trousers, waterproof gloves, and your shoes might get a little bit wet, but they won't be too bad if they're sitting in here behind the that sort of kick panel. And the next couple of things, which are kind of pretty obvious to be honest, it's just to sort of just generally ride slower and with longer following distances, right? You can see I've got a massive following distance at the moment. In the restricted license test video, I said that in the rain you should have a following distance of 4 seconds behind someone. So if they go past this cone, 1, 2, 3, just about 4 seconds. So that's probably the absolute minimum following distance that realistically you want to have. And what it'll mean is that if this car suddenly has to stop, you know, that accounts for your reaction time and the extended amount of time it's going to take for you to stop. And definitely, particularly when it starts raining, this isn't so much of a big problem once it's been raining for a while like now, but when it starts raining, all of the grime and dust and dirt and rubbish all over the road that gets left behind by the cars driving on them will sort of float to the surface, because it'll float on the water, and then there'll just sort of be this layer. And that's why sometimes when it starts raining you'll notice like oil patches, like sort of rainbowy shiny coloured oil patches all over the road in places where cars have leaked oil and you can't see it when it's not raining, but when it rains the oil floats to the top and shows up as that sort of rainbow colour. And these are definitely patches that you want to avoid because they're kind of like stealthy manhole covers, because they'll definitely be very slippery. There's definitely a lot of stagnant water all over the roads. Goodness me, there we go, there's a lot there. So that's the kind of thing that I hit when I had my accident. So those are the types of bits of stagnant water that you really want to avoid. Here's a lot more here. That's exactly the type of example of things that you want to avoid, because those things are going to be flipping sketchy as when going around corners. Look at that, 35 kilometers an hour. Grandma speeds. You never know what could be around here. There could be a manhole cover that you can't avoid. There could be paint like there. It could be stagnant water, and you've got a flipping old Toyota Camry sticking up your backside. Doesn't like my grandma speeds, but at least I'm being safe, mate, because if I crashed out in front of you with your following distance, you'd probably be running me over. Would you like to get past, would you, mate? I'll take that as a yes. So yeah, if you do all of those things, you'll be just as safe riding in the rain as you will be riding in the dry.